Hello, hello. We'll wait a few more minutes. Very good. Can you hear me? If you have any issues, please don't hesitate to say so or to write while everybody is joining. So as yesterday, I'll soon share my screen and we'll start going over activities. Yesterday we did P2s, automate activities. Today we'll be talking about speaking activities for kids and tweens, all right? There are a lot of materials for adults as well, but I chose to separate those because those are very different kinds of activities. We can do that next week. All right, I'll start sharing my screen. So do you all see the materials? I've started sharing my screen. You should all see the materials right now. I'll open the chat just in case. So if there's anything not working or anything like that, you can either speak, use your microphone, or you can simply type. All right? So you should all see now the materials here. My web page open. All right, let's dive in. So today we want to talk about speaking activities for kids and tweens. Now we're going to go over speaking activities, you'll see, for different levels. It doesn't matter the level. We're talking about kids and tweens because, of course, they're different to adults. Speaking activities that will work with adults will not work with kids, and vice versa. We can tweak them a little bit, of course. They're the same concepts, actually often work with both, but we need to tweak them because adults don't want to feel like children, and kids as well, they want something more colorful. They want something different than what adults want. As usual, in all the webinars here, I open the website just as you would open it, okay? When you open this, that's what you see. The website is always turned to grammar. So what we're going to do now, of course, you'll find plenty and plenty of speaking activities connected with grammar. But today we're not just going to limit ourselves to that, okay? So just as an example, for example, here you have grammar, and if we select production as well, here we filtered out all production activities for grammar. We're going to go broader because we're not interested only grammar today. We're interested in all kinds of speaking activities. Let's start with some P3s, okay? So P3 type activities are they're short speaking activities. You'll see that there are a lot of production activities that also qualify as P3 activities. But here we're just going to look at, we're going to start just with P3 activities. And you see that if I just select P3, well, here I have adults, teens, tweens, but I don't see kids. So not all these activities are suitable for kids. I finally find one here. You see there's kids, and I'm going to click on kids so that we directly filter out. We only want to see P3 activities that are good for kids. That's for today. If you want to do adults, we'll do that next week, all right? So, different little speaking activities for kids. Let's start. There are a lot. As you can see here, we're just in P3, so shorter speaking activities. And you see that there are a bunch. Really lots and lots and lots. There are 10 pages in total. I want to focus on a few. I'll show you a few because I think they're a great idea to start the year at the beginning of the year. So one of the first I wanted to show you, you can see right here, it's called body swap for modals of obligation. This is a lot of fun. Here's the idea. So you see, as always, you don't need to download them. The general idea is right here. The activity mimics a body swap movie. I don't know if you've ever seen those. It happens in cartoons, in movies, things like that. When there are two heroes and they swap bodies. So your personality is in the body of someone else. Well, the kids are going to have fun with that. They've probably already seen it in a cartoon, but now they're going to play exactly that. So what you do is student A and student B have one character card each. They're friends. 2, you tell them they're walking in the forest together when suddenly they walk through a portal and they swap bodies. You can use you can use different kind of storytelling examples to make it more lively. A caterpillar comes to them to tell them that the swap is only for 3 days. So for 3 days, they have swapped bodies. Now, it's very important. They don't want anyone to know their secret because everyone will think they're crazy. Who would believe you if you told them, no, right now, I know you think I'm Antoine because I have Antoine's body, but I'm not Antoine, actually. I'm Olga. Nobody's going to believe you. Everybody's going to think I'm crazy. Exactly the same thing. So what they're going to do basically is they're going to use, you can force them, you can push them to use models of obligation, but in general, they're going to give each other instructions on what the other student has to do to be like the other one. Check out the character cards. So students are going to pick different characters. It's more fun to do body swap with character cards because if you're going to do it with the real students' bodies, you never know. There might be complexes, there might be difficulties. I stay away from the real body of the person. So each student takes a character card, and for example, student A is a superhero, and student B is, well, living in the streets, for example, or very poor. So student A, who's a superhero, will tell student B, okay, you have to look strong, okay? You have to run everywhere. You have to help people. Depending on the level, you give a model of the activity first, adapted to whatever level they have, the vocabulary that they know and things like that. But if they already know models of obligation, they will have no trouble doing this. And you see, this is a very original way of practicing models of obligation. You can't, no, you can't do that. People are going to know you're not a superhero. No, you need to behave like this. You have to behave like that. You can't do this. Can I do that? Yes, you can. This is body swap, basically. The students swap bodies, and they have to give instructions to each other on how to behave to look as natural as possible. You can have a little activity extension, actually, where you ask the kids are going to take just one of them, their favorite character, and they're going to act as the character, and the other students need to guess who they are. That's a fun extension for the activity at the end, which will give the kids some actual physical activity. So they'll stand up and they'll try to behave like a superhero or like a doctor, or what do we have here as well? An airline pilot, a grandma at the gardening at the dacha, for example. The students will guess what roles they're taking on. But the most important part, the speaking part, is really the instructions. This part where A gives B instructions on what B has to do to be like A. Is that clear?
Yes, everything is clear. Thanks.
All right, awesome. Any questions or comments on that?
Oh, we should definitely try it.
I highly recommend it. As you see, body swap. So we're starting with kids' activities that is already A2B1.
Mm-hmm.
The kids here, this is for modals of obligation. So the kids already, they need a certain level of vocabulary and a fluency to actively speak in an activity like this. I wouldn't recommend it at level lower than A2.
Okay, I see, thanks.
But anything higher, body swap is loads of fun. You'll see that the students will have lots of fun. So the character cards here are for the students to adapt and to change their rules, their instructions. And here you also have, once it's loaded, why isn't it loading? There you go. You have pictures if you need them for your story. While you're introducing the activity to the students, you can tell, oh, we're walking through a forest. Here you see the portal. When you walked through the portal, bam, you swapped bodies. These are pictures for you. If you need pictures to illustrate them during the class, the younger the kids, the more they like these kind of things. And so this is the picture of the caterpillar who tells you at the end, don't worry guys, it's just for 3 days, but you don't want anyone to think you're crazy. So that was body swap. Let me show you more. There are a lot of interesting ones here. Okay, check them out. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through all of them right now. I just want to show you the ones I highly recommend to start the year, depending on the level of of the kids that you have and what they know. Next thing I want to show you is robot combat for comparatives. Now, check out the level here. A0, A1, A2, A2B1. This is an awesome activity that you can easily adapt to the levels of the students. Of course, it's targeted at comparatives. So check it out. This is going to be a basic card game, a bit like kids could play on their own, things like Uno, things like that. They're going to have different cards, and on each card, they're going to have a robot. Check out the robots. Boom, there you go. So look, these, and like yesterday for the P2s, remember what I told you? If you have a laminator, this is perfect because these cards are really like play cards, like Uno, for example. I highly recommend you can simply print them once, laminate them, and then you're done for the year. On each page, you see, you have 4 robots. Here we have a Parabob, Azerty, Boomer, and Clank. And each of the robots have different scores for different criteria. So you see we have a Parabob. Well, he's not very smart. He's only got 12 in intelligence. He's reasonably fast, speed 40, loudness 12, beauty 34, sense of humor 89. I mean, that's pretty nice. Behavior 23, he's not very well behaved. Weight 45, size 67. And next to it, We give hints to the students: smart, stupid, fast, slow, loud, quiet, beautiful, ugly, things like that. So the students have hints for the comparatives. I find to practice comparatives, it's best not to have the students spend too much time thinking about different adjectives. If they already know which adjectives they should use, they're going to practice much faster. And you see that in the adjectives, there are short ones, there's long ones, so it's absolutely fine. So what you do here is you cut them up. One card is one robot, and look how many pages there are. There are 6 pages, 4 robots on each page. That's 24 robots we got there. So you're going to be able to use it throughout the year. You see we have Crowby, Devi, Double Spud, and Kark. Now, how we would play it, we each have a stack of cards of robots. And we don't have a choice. We pick the next one we have in our pile of cards. So I'm student A, and let's say my card is Crowby, and you're student B, and your card, which I don't see, is Devi. It's my turn to play. So it's my turn to challenge you. I'm going to say something like, well, look at Crowby. Oh, he's got high speed. So you know what? I think Crowby, I think my robot is faster than your robot. If I win, I get your card. I win your robot. If I lose, you get my robot. So let's check. Speed 76, speed 25, Devi. I was right. You're slower than me. I get your card. So I take both cards and I put it in my stack. Next, we both take, student A and student B, we both take the next card in our pile. So mine is Double Spud and yours is Kark. And now it's your turn to make a sentence. So you don't know my robot. You don't know it's Double Spud. So you look at Kark and, whoa, what do you like? Well, weight and size are pretty high. So we could go with one of the two there. Weight and size, I think my robot, you would say, I think my robot is heavier than yours. If you have something very low, like intelligence 34, you could say, well, you know what? I think my robot is stupider than yours. Students have a lot of fun with, little kids, they have a lot of fun with that. And basically, again, if you're right, I give you my card. If you're wrong, I take your card. And we continue playing like that, comparing the robots until one student wins. Is it clear?
Yes, everything is clear, thanks.
Any questions?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen. What about the time? How much time does it usually take to play such a game?
You're absolutely right about the timing, because I said I would start with P3 activities that are usually short speaking activities.
Mm-hmm.
But you see that if you use all the 24 robots in one activity, and you let the students continue until one student has all the cards, then this activity is going to last you 30, 40 minutes easily.
Mm-hmm.
So it's entirely up to you. We have put all the robots in one, and what I usually recommend is you choose the number of robots you want to use depending on how much time you want to spend on this activity. So if you were looking for a P3 activity, say 10, 15 minutes of speaking time for your students, I would only use 2 pages. So 8 robots total. Okay,
I see, thanks.
That's why we made so many robots, basically, so that you just print them, you laminate them, and then you're done for the year. You have a bunch of robots that you can easily pick from, and you can easily mix them, and you're set. You can play this activity. Honestly, when I play this activity now with my kids, they get super excited. When they just see me taking out the cards of the robots, and they get super excited. Oh yes, I won last time. I want to win a second time. And the others, no, it's my turn. It's a big battle. They see it as a big battle because it's a robot combat. You can also make it for a shorter activity as well. The students only have 1 robot. Like, for example, I'm Crowby, you're Devi, you're Double Spud, and I'm Kark. And for example, I need to make 3 statements. that are true. If I make 3 statements that are true, I win. If you make 3 statements that are true, you win. So we don't change robots. So first I'll say, for example, I have Kroby, you have Devi. Okay, I think my robot is faster than yours. Let's check. Yes, I win. Okay. Next, I think my robot is smarter than yours. I have 65. Ah, you have 67. Boom. I win. I lose. So I only have 1 correct sentence. Now it's your turn. You say, well, Antoine, I think my robot is louder than yours. Ooh, you're absolutely right. 1-1. You continue. I think my robot is smarter than yours, Antoine. 78. And I have 54. You win. 2-1. Oh my God, you have 1 more try. Size. You say, hey, Antoine, I think my robot is bigger than yours. 87, 42, you win. You have 3 correct statements. And it's enough. You go to a next activity. All right?
Okay.
Cool. I really like this activity. I love it. Robot combat is something you can use throughout the year. Okay. So robot combat. What else did I want to show you in the P3 section? Superhero origin stories, of course. Now here, level you see A2, B1, not for A0, A1. Here, this is storytelling. But at any level, once your kids have started viewing past tenses, you can start using these kind of activities. So this is a way we find very, very simple to get kids to open up and to start telling stories. It's not always easy for them to tell stories because kids actually haven't got that many stories to share often. What we're going to do here is basically we're going to help students write or say stories for superheroes. So check out the weird superheroes they're going to get. We're not going to take real superheroes because, well, in that case, they're distracted. They're distracted by the real superheroes, and they might argue. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I've seen kids, tweens, even teenagers properly argue over the real story behind a superhero. They all think that they know the superhero best, and they're very emotional about it. So I used to do this with like Batman, Superman, things like that. And then when I saw that the little arguments were getting in the way of the real purpose of my activity, well, we just made our own superheroes. So we have Firebird Man, Electro Girl, Ice Monster, Lizard Boy, Car Woman, Fly Girl, Cactus Man, Snake Woman, and Alien Boy. These are all superheroes. And the students are going to do this. Okay, they're going to prepare superhero stories. So each group or pair needs a superhero card. The task is to make an origin story for the superhero. How did he or she get his or her powers? Students write out the story and present it to the class. The lower the level, the more you want to help the students out with a few key questions, for example. So, when did the superhero find out about his superpowers? How did he get his superpowers? 3, 4, 5 questions like that, and the kids are ready to go. It can be something as simple as you see, for example, for Lizard Man, she ate a lizard. Oh, if it's she, it's probably not Lizard Man, but Lizard Girl. Superhero cards. Where's our lizard? We have Lizard Boy, but it was a she, so I'm guessing this was for Snake Woman. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is clear in this activity.
Yeah, everything is clear.
All right. Again, any questions? If you hesitate. Oh, wait, I didn't see the chat. Ah, it's clear? Yes, perfect. Superhero origin stories, that's for storytelling. We saw robot combat for comparatives, things like that. Body swap for instructions, models of obligation. You can also use it very simply just for present simple, for example, what you're supposed to do every day so that nobody's afraid, nobody thinks that you're a different person. The last P3 I'd like to show you is talking objects. So this is very basic activity for describing things. It's a lot of fun. You see that it can be done at a lot of different levels, A0, A1, A2, A2B1. Talking objects is a lot of fun. What's going to happen here is basically you're going to tell the kids that, boom, unfortunately, oh wait, the instructions don't match. I'll have to change those. The instructions are right here. This is what you're going to tell the students. You put them in pairs, and you tell them each in turns that the role play they're going to play is this. Student A fell on his or her head, and now he or she has lost his or her memory of what everything is. On top of that, because of the concussion, items are speaking to him or her. And student B is going to take an item card, and student B is going to talk to A to describe what he or she is based on, what he or she does, things like that, to try to remind student A of what he or she is. And here you have an example. I was quite expensive. Come on, you remember, you bought me last year. You used me in the morning to read the news and watch videos before school. Laptop. Or mobile phone, maybe. Clear?
Yeah.
A has to guess what the item is to get their memory back. Let me show you the items. So there you have it, for example, sunglasses. Oh, I'm your sunglasses. How would I describe that? Okay, come on, please, remember, you know me, okay? Whenever it's too sunny, you wear me. You wear me on your eyes. Ah, sunglasses, okay. Next, you swap. So student B now takes, for example, student A now takes the item. Ah, student A is a mug. How would you describe a mug? Oh, Antoine. Antoine. Well, you use me very often during the day. You usually put some water or tea or hot chocolate or coffee in me, and then you bring it to your lips and you drink the water, the coffee, etc., like that. Ah, you're a mug. Okay. Any questions on that? Talking objects?
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever tried this activity with young learners? For
Sorry?
example, have you ever tried this activity with very young learners, like A1 or pre-A1, something like that?
Yes. You will remember our whole idea of P3s. So you don't want them to see vocabulary that they don't know, things like that, to avoid them waking up system 2. But here you basically choose the items you want. So if they don't know fridge, you don't put that card, for example. If they don't know toothbrush, you don't put that card. It also depends on how independent your students are, because the word is on the card with the picture. So you can also use it to boost their vocabulary and boost their memory. But yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah, I meant, did they make the sentences something like that, or they just use the adjectives to describe the things?
You're absolutely right. That's the great thing about the activity. That's why we put it under different levels. You can use it in different ways. So at very, very low level, I would keep this, for example, for, this is a great activity for the kids to practice present simple in a completely different format. Because usually kids, they're used to present simple, talking about how often they do things, and it's really a routine for them. And if you tell them, hey, now you're the object, tell the person how often they use you. Tell them when they use you, things like that. They'll have a lot of fun with present simple. So you can use this for present simple. You can use this for adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
Colors, they need to know colors, maybe materials, and then you can use it.
Okay, thanks, I see.
I agree, this is not for the first day of A0 or A1 level. These are speaking activities, so yeah, it's not for the first day like that. I'm actually going to give a, do you guys know the Vkontakte group Pro English, Katerina Stashevskaya?
Yeah, I've heard something about that.
Yeah, she has a very good group, and she often has webinars, things like that, directly on Vkontakte. I'm giving one, I want to say the 29th, on first lessons to start the year. So there I'll give some tips specifically about the first lesson with kids, tweens, things like that, first lesson of the year. Today I didn't think especially about your first lesson. I'm just showing a lot of different speaking activities that you can use depending on the level and what your students know. All right?
Okay.
Well, let's do, this is, I suggest, enough with P3s, because P3s are short speaking activities, and they're usually, you're right, as you see, they're usually quite targeted at some kind of target language that you want to see your students practice. If you remember right, yesterday when we were doing P2 activities, I showed you all the wily starters, movers, flyers vocabulary. There are P3 activities for all those as well. Look, I'm pretty sure if we go to P3 Kids in the last page, yeah, wily starters, you see places and directions, go fish, places and directions, tic-tac-toe. So there are P3 activities for grammar, for vocabulary. They're usually targeted at specific vocabulary or grammar, which means that they might not be adaptable for first lessons or things like that. Let me show you some projects in that case. We're going to move from P3s to projects, because these projects are very large speaking activities that you can draw out over not even just one lesson, but a few lessons. And you'll see that the language level that the students need to fulfill all these projects is very much adaptable. Let me show you bad advice, for instance. Bad advice is very good here for that. You'll see that the language level for bad advice can go very high, but can be very simple as well. Mm-hmm. The idea of bad advice, I don't remember honestly when Tom and I had that silly idea, but it works like a charm for all those activities giving advice. Students are always giving good advice, and actually if you just switch it around to bad advice, students have a lot of fun with it. The whole idea is students are going to vote on the worst advice to give to someone in different situations. And you can use it as a basic project in written form and speaking form. So let me show you the worksheet. So you can start it like this. Your friend needs help, give your friend bad advice. And the students can do it in writing form or brainstorming in pairs or in little groups first. My tooth hurts. My neighbors are very loud. I love basketball. I can't cook. The students, they come up with their bad advice. And then, so if they were on their own, you put them in pairs. They compare their advice and they vote on which one was the worst. Or you can actually do this in class if you put the students in little groups for brainstorming for the first part. Then you do a general class activity where all the different groups vote on the worst pieces of advice. I usually tell groups that they're not allowed to vote for their own answer to force an honest vote. So you can use this bad advice in this format, but check it out. There's also a drawing project that you can adapt this to a drawing project, which means that A0, A1 level students will still be able to take part in the activity. They're still practicing, but without too much complication, too much difficulty on their part. So each piece of bad advice is going to become a poster. Check it out. So here, in this form of the handout, the student can associate a phrase, I can't cook, to a picture, a notion, you see? So we have the picture, I can't cook. And he's happy, but his bowl is just ridiculously, wow, what the hell? You call that cooking? And the students can make a picture, draw a picture for their bad advice, or write it down. And each worksheet is a different situation. There we go. Here, what do we have? I love cake. I can't find my glasses, and you see the guy has his glasses on his forehead. All right? This is bad advice in picture form. Clear? Any questions?
No, everything is clear. Thanks.
Yeah, I have an idea. We can use this second part as a home task activity, for example, so that not to waste time at the lesson, for example.
Absolutely. It really depends. I don't find because you don't want parents to feel sometimes that kids are wasting time in class and things like that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Exactly. The drawing part can absolutely be done at home for homework. What I would really recommend, if you're thinking about the parents, we organize the kids for that, because kids are not always organized, and they do awesome activities during the year. They might lose them, which is a shame, because the parents need to see them. The parents get a lot of value from seeing these activities, what their students do, what their kids do in class. So these, if I'm going to use this with the kids in picture format, whether they do it for homework or in class, I will make them put it in their binder or glue it in their textbook, whatever my students use to keep notes, to keep projects from class, I will make them put it in there. It's good fun. They'll fondly remember this bad advice that they gave at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year. So I fully agree with you. Any other comments? Ideas? No? All right.
Everything.
Again, don't hesitate. If later you have questions, you can send me a message on the website, by email. So I just showed you bad advice. Let me show you what else. Back from the past. I want to show you that as well. This is good fun as well. So this is a project already. It's not P3. So instead of playing Back to the Future, they're going to play Back from the Past. So the students are time travelers, and they brought some souvenirs back from their travels. They're basically going to tell stories about how they got each souvenir. So we've included, as always with these kind of projects, things like that, we include some pictures for you to be able to hang them in the classroom, things like that. If you want to illustrate your storytelling more, this is the time machine. Now let's have a look at what they're going to do. So you show them the time machine, you say they've just come back from the past, and you're going to model the activity first, okay? You show one of the souvenir items that you brought back. And you put the key questions you want answered on the board. So these are our examples of questions. You're absolutely free to use other types of questions to adapt them to different levels. If you want to keep it in present simple, if you want them to use more past, you see there's our questions are in past, and they're both with regular verbs and with to be. If that's too difficult for the students, change the questions, adapt them. Like basically, where were you? When was it? What was it used for? How did you get it? Why was it difficult to get? And look, for each item, so here are the souvenir cards. There you go. You have a few pages of historical objects like this. So an axe, this was probably from Viking times, you know. I mean, this was very difficult for me to get. Well, of course, here I'm speaking naturally. A kid would have a much simpler story. I like this activity because you can use this activity not just to, well, to involve the kids more into personalized learning. I don't know if you've noticed, but kids also respond very well to situations where they have the freedom to express themselves, and they can ask the teacher any questions they like on how to say it. So the kids, when I play this activity, they get very involved. I mean, you got a piece of ice, you got a crown, you got a little monster. I mean, where did you get that in the past? A dinosaur. And they get really, really excited about their story. And you as a teacher, the role is just to guide them into making their story, preparing their story. Because in the end, students just take in turns telling their stories to each other. And there are different alternatives, okay? You can do it individually. The students take one card each, and they go over each card. But you can also, alternative, students work in pairs. If the students struggle, if you think it might be difficult for them, they're not creative enough, put them in pairs, and they'll be more creative together. Another alternative is, you see, the students can also take 3 cards at once and make a story based on all 3 souvenirs. So as always with our activities, we like to give you flexibility so that there are alternatives and things like that. If you don't want to stick to one card, give them 3 cards and they have to come up with a story that combines all 3 cards. This is very good actually to develop their writing skills as well.
Mm-hmm.
Alternative 2, I like this. It's always a fun part. Alternative 2 is sell. The students try to sell their time souvenirs to their partners. This is for higher level. You're not going to do this at a 2 level. B1 students can start selling. Any questions on Back from the Past? Any ideas?
No, everything is clear, thanks.
Cool, cool, cool. Here, there are more and more activities. Look, build a monster activity, build a city. You see that build a monster activity, build a city, these kind of projects, you can easily adapt them as well to the level of your students. Build a solar system. The beginning can mostly be concentrated on very simple language like colors, numbers, things like that. Now, there are a lot of activities like that. I want to show you some in particular for the beginning of the year. There we go. Crazy birthday. Crazy birthday is good fun for students kids who know present simple, present continuous, and need some practice. What's happening is that Jenny and Jack are twins. Today is their birthday. And a magical wizard comes to take them to Fairland for the day. So again, you have story background. I'll open large pictures for story background. You have Ginny and Jack, the cake for their birthday, the wizard taking them away. This is to help you illustrate the story if you need to involve the kids more. And look, here's the procedure. So as a lead-in, you can absolutely talk to the students about birthdays, things like that, how they're different from normal days. That's a perfect lead-in. And then what you're going to do, as you see, is where the lead-in establish the difference between present simple for normal days and present continuous for right now, because it's super exciting. Today's your birthday. So establish the situation using the story background, and then students write sentences in present simple for the usually columns and in present continuous for the today columns. Provide them an example on the board just for modeling. And there you go. So on normal days, Ginny and Jack, they brush their teeth 3 times a day. But today, Jack and Jenny are eating cupcakes, drinking tea and hot chocolate all day long. Well, usually at 9 a.m., Jack and Jenny go to school. But today, Jack and Jenny are going to an island. And it goes on page by page like that. Different things they're going to do during the day. You know what? Usually Jack and Jenny at 1 p.m., they do their homework. But today, it's 1 p.m. and Jack and Jenny are fighting a dragon in fairyland. Clear?
Yep.
So there are also backup extensions as an extension of the activity, because here mainly the students can do it in pairs and compare their answers. But then there are a lot of different ways you can use it. Describe what Jenny and Jack did on their birthday when they come back from fairyland. Draw and describe their ideas of what Jenny and Jack do in each of the locations. And in the end, you can design a brochure for all fairyland attractions. All right, because here you would use this handout. Check it out, it's a poster. And students can create posters like that. Crazy birthday, Jenny and Jack are twins. Sorry. Clicked on the wrong button there. But today is different, today is their birthday. You're going to the Fairland for 1 day. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear, and I really like these types of activities because they really they let the imagination run wild. And
exactly.
Really fascinating.
It's at the beginning, some students might be shy, but when you do these activities consistently throughout the year, you're absolutely right. It frees their creativity up, and by the end of the year, your students are much more creative than average students.
And it's also a really cool activity to show them the difference between the present simple and the present continuous in a very emotional way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe these emotions will really help them to remember what the difference is.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It happened to me once. It was very funny, very lucky. A day when I did Crazy Birthday, and one of the kids in the class, it was his birthday. That was by far the most memorable. All right, Crazy Birthday. Ta-la. There we go. Let me show you, there was one more project. So you see, I unclicked kids because we're talking about kids and tweens today. And there's also, I highly recommend, look at all the projects. I mean, there are loads and loads of projects like that, and we're going to continue developing projects throughout the year because those are great for kids. Activities like that you can use and last for 1 or 2 lessons where there are 1 or 2 steps are really, really interesting for them. There's one that we haven't labeled as kids, but it is for tweens, and I really like it. It's called Alien Spies. Oh my God, aliens have secretly invaded the planet. They want to conquer it without war. To do that, they've disguised themselves as humans. Their disguises are not perfect, however, okay? There's something in their speech that gives them away. Investigators must determine whether certain suspects are aliens or humans based on how they answer questions. The humans are free to go, but the aliens are sent to prison. This is really loads of fun. The tweens, you can do this with teens as well, actually. Really, really get into it. So you get the idea. In turns, students are going to be divided in different categories. You'll have some students are investigators, and their goal is to ask questions to different students. And other students are going to be suspects. Now, some of the suspects, you want to keep them as humans. And other suspects are going to be aliens, and they're all going to have something specific about the way they speak. And this is what the investigators are looking for. So let me show you. Again, you have pictures to illustrate the activity, the introduction and everything. So here you have aliens arriving, and here aliens transforming into humans to illustrate the fact that, be careful. Not all humans in the classroom are humans. Some might be aliens. And check out the suspect cards. So this is how, these are the roles of students. So you see we have some cards. You're a human. There's nothing, no further information is needed there. If you're human, you answer the questions of your interrogators in a normal manner. But then you have different fun alien cards. So you're an alien, you can't use adjectives. You're an alien, you can't use future. You can't use past. You're always extremely polite. You always talk about pets. You're an alien, you can't use numbers. You're an alien, you always talk about yourself. You see, based on the alien card, the student is going to reply to the questions of the investigators in a certain manner. And the investigators should see those things. So check out the whole procedure. So you tell the students about the situation. You have the pictures to support it. You tell the students that the aliens have a funny way of speaking English. They have not fully mastered English. Every alien has something missing in their speech. Based on how suspects answer the questions, you can tell whether they're human or not. So this little stage, I would say, is key. Depending on the level of the tweens teens, you might want to brainstorm ideas. You might ask them, hey guys, what do you think might be missing from their speech? And you write down ideas that match the cards. So if a student says, oh, maybe they can't use past, you write it down on the board and say, hey, yes, that's a good idea. Maybe there are aliens that can't use past. That way it gives them hints on what to look out for. Then you split the class into investigators and suspects. Give each suspect a suspect card. Give the interrogators 3 minutes to interview each suspect. At the end of 3 minutes, the investigators either let the suspect go or send the suspect to prison. Is it clear?
Yeah.
You see, instruction 8, as a follow-up, you can check to see what percentage of aliens were caught in the and whether the Earth is safe now. We put it as a follow-up, but I always do this with the tweens because they need some kind of closure at the end. They need to feel that there's a real conclusion. And it's a lot of fun. You can actually tell your students, hey guys, you did a great job. Like you got 85% of all the aliens. My other group, they only got 75, for example. Are Alien Spies clear? Any questions, any ideas?
No, everything is clear now.
Everything is clear, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is, again, a different kind of activity that you can adapt to different levels. All right. So as I said, there are lots of projects. Comic Legends, Build a Monster, City of the Future, Crazy Weekend Plans. Let's now go to some production activities. So I'm going to select Kids and Production. And here again, I want to quickly introduce 3-4 activities that you can easily, quickly adapt to your lessons. I'm not going to talk about art commission. I often talk about that in the courses. If you're interested, there's also a video online. I've done a video. It's on my social network, on YouTube. I want to start with a fun little production called Improve the Invention. Improve the Invention is a fun type of speaking activity because we're going to take everyday objects and students, the kids, the tweens, are going to improve them in a way that helps their own personal lives. So we made an example. You can make your own example. Our example might not fit your character or something like that. It pretty much, this is Thomas' example. It fits his. So look, you can use this example. You just show them this picture of your lamp. You tell them, you know what? I was very happy with my lamp, but I improved it. This lamp is not just like, it's not just a lamp anymore. It's an actual robot. Check out what it does. So my lamp, it answers the phone. It heats up my soup. It dries my socks. It's got a camera. It makes tea, and it moves around and cleans the house. As you can see, I can explain my invention only using present simple. Now there are different language focuses that you can use this activity for. You can also use it for future, for past, things like that. What it used to do, what it will do. But at very basic level, A0, A1, give it a shot. You'll see that it absolutely works. Just present simple with the basic vocabulary that they have. So I always start by showing them the example. And I tell them, hey guys, you know what? This is a big deal because there's a crazy invention convention. The best invention is going to be picked up by, so now you would say, I don't know, Elon Musk has gone a bit out of fashion. A year ago, you could just say Elon Musk is going to finance this, and everybody was getting super excited. And then the students, check it out. We've prepared, so here we didn't put them in cars, we put them on a full A4 sheet of paper so that the students have the opportunity, they're kids, they're tweens, they do really like sometimes the opportunity of making quick drawings to illustrate their ideas. So you see, it's not, we haven't made this into like lines where they need to write in certain areas. They can quickly jot down ideas like this. So the first one is, for example, a new bathtub. And they would add things on the side, things like that. And write down what each addition does. A new bed. Oh, this is a blank one? Page 4 is blank. A new chair. Wait, am I not seeing it just? I printed it last week. Why is it not? There's something wrong with the preview, I'm guessing. A new wardrobe. So you have loads and loads of different inventions like that. Okay, there's something clearly wrong with the preview because if there was only one page, I would hesitate. But I used this last week. A new fridge. Really weird. A new lamp. So all these inventions, what you're going to do, you start by giving your example, show the students the lamp example, ask them what they think about the lamp. Is it better now? tell them about the brochure, about the Crazy Invention conference, and then you can either put the students in pairs and they can do each invention themselves, or you put students in little groups and they have each one invention and they're going to present their ideas to the rest of the class at the invention convention. So in this scenario, they would prepare an actual poster and an actual presentation at the end. And again, activity extension, you can totally have the students try to sell the inventions to a future store, for example. That's a fun way as well to follow it up. I think your inventions are really nice. Now, let's imagine student A, you're a shop owner, student B, try to sell the invention, and they have fun with that. Any questions on this one?
No, everything is clear.
Awesome. We call it improve the invention. I like it a lot because I am originally as well an engineer. I like technology, so it's always fun to talk with the students about that kind of stuff. Kids production activity. So this is going to be, I love this one. The Potion Supercup. Honestly, you're gonna have fun yourselves with it. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun with it. This is very simply inspired, as you can guess, I mean, from the Potions Master at Hogwarts, our good old Severus Snape. Severus Snape is always at Hogwarts, always trying to get the kids to make new potions, things like that. So there are instructions, ingredients on what to do. And the students are gonna have the opportunity to do exactly that. So check it out. You've got pictures of your magic school to kind of introduce the story again. And we've made you some magic trophies at the end to get to award when students perform the instructions well. And then the two most important documents are these ones. So these are potions for the competition, okay? So you see you have different potions: Dragon Fire, Freeze Them, Big Brain. Oh, I need some Big Brain. Princess Face, Get Well Soon, Invisible Man, Magic Garden, and Enjoy Your Day. And we have different pages that describe each potion. So Dragon Fire is here. You got a little picture of Dragon Fire, a picture of your cauldron, and all the ingredients: lava, dragon blood, sand, pepper, orange juice, candles.
Mm-hmm.
Freeze Them, same thing. Ingredients: ice, ice cream, a spider web, polar bear fur, salt, lemon juice. And it goes on and on. Let's check out Big Brain. I like me some Big Brain. Ingredients: I need a cookie. I have a cookie. I need a book. I have a book. A bat's wing. That's going to be more difficult to get in St. Petersburg. A spider. No problem. A key. A star. Well, let's check out the ingredients. So all of the ingredients we described go with a picture. You remember? For one of the potions, there were candles. Yes? Mm-hmm. You have a picture for everything: ice cream, ice, spider. And there are 4 pages of ingredients. A book, a cookie. I remember all these. I needed a book, I needed a cookie, I needed a key, I needed a spider, I needed a bat's wing, I needed a star. You see, these 6 are for my Big Brain potion. The next 6 are for the next one. So you want to shuffle them, of course. Mm-hmm. How can you use this? So here's the procedure. So of course, before lesson, cut out all the ingredient cards, distribute the cards evenly amongst the students. So the students all need to have different ingredients. Because the whole goal of the activity, for it to be a speaking activity, is they're going to need to ask each other for ingredients to make their potions. So step 2, distribute the cards evenly amongst the students. Then you assign one student as a potion master for each recipe. The potion master tells the other students what he or she needs for the potion. So be sure to specify which language you want from the students here, because there are different ways of asking, and that's why, again, we put different levels. You can do it in basic, really basic A0, A1 level. For example, just all the questions. Have you got? Have you got milk? Okay, thank you. I needed milk. So you specify which language and you model the activity so that they clearly know and understand how to play it. And then students give the potion master the different ingredients. The potion master glues the ingredients onto her sheet and ticks off each ingredient as he gets them. Once the potion master has everything, boom, the potion master gets a trophy, and then you change to a different potion and a different potion master. So you see, if we're in a class together, we all have different ingredients. And for example, the first potion is mine. I'm the potion master for Dragonfire. So I'll ask you, guys, okay. Let me ask, okay, Olga, have you got lava? And Olga answers, oh, yes, no. Oh, Katerina, have you got dragon blood? Boom, boom, boom. When you do, you give it to me. If you don't, I go to the next person. I gather them, I glue them on my potions sheet, and when I'm finished, I get a trophy, and we change. The next student, for example, Olga, is potion master of freeze them, and will search for all the ingredients. You see that in the end, again, your students get a very nice handout, a very nice souvenir to keep. I force my students to put these in their binders or in their notebooks, because that's a great memory for them. They were Severus Snape once in their classroom at least. I like also the little extension that you can do here, for example. Have the students come up with ideas for how they will use their completed potions. That's something as well that you can add on the posters at the end. Okay, so my first potion was Dragonfire. Well, oh my God, I hope they haven't seen Game of Thrones, because or else they're gonna have very bad ideas on how to use Dragonfire. See what I mean?
Yep.
Yes, clear? Perfect.
I have one question just to make sure I understood the procedure. So there is just one person who is a potion master each time, right? And all the other students, they have the potion cards, and the potion master just walks around and asks questions like, have you got this? Have you got that?
Exactly.
And after that, we swap the potion master.
Exactly. It's important that every student in the class gets to be the potion master once.
Okay.
And the questions that the potion master asks, it depends on which language you want to practice with them. So it can be, for example, very simple, have you got? And in this case, the kids just ask one person. But if they're a bit more independent with have got, they can also ask general questions like, who has got? Who has got lava? And for example, Lil Eager raises hands. I've got lava. Oh, thank you. And you take the lava. Is it clear now?
Yep, thank you.
No, you're absolutely right. It needs to be clear. The potion master changes so that all students in the class get to be, well, I call him Severus Snape, but get to be the potion master, get to ask questions, and get to have fun moving around and kind of, you know, they're kind of in charge of the classroom, which makes them really highly motivated at that stage of the lesson. Any other questions, ideas on potions, Supercup?
No, everything is clear. Well, I suppose that follow-up you were talking about, we can set it as homework, for example, to write to write down their ideas, or to write a message how they can use it. So we can make it in writing.
Absolutely, I fully agree. I like that idea because so so let's say it's a good way to make sure that the parents see the great work that the kids are doing in class. Because if you always give homework that is from, you know, a textbook, the parents have the impression that, well, you're doing something very similar to academic style, just you're using a different textbook than they're usually using, and that just makes it fancy. But when they actually have projects like that, where they make a poster, the parents see it at home. Like, what's your homework today? Oh, well, look, I made a dragonfire potion today in class, and now I have to come up with 3 ideas of how I'm going to use it. And yes, they'll write on the poster, maybe here, 3 sentences. I will use my dragonfire to kill everybody in Game of Thrones. Hopefully, if the kids are 6 or 7 years old, they're not going to say things like that.
And there is a signature below Little Danny.
Sorry?
And there is a signature below Little Danny.
Mm-hmm. Any other ideas for Potion Super Club? Clear?
Yeah, everything is clear. Thank you. That's a really cool idea.
I love it. I really wanted to show you this one today because it's lots of fun and easily adaptable. You can easily adapt it to different levels and ages and things like that. Again, you see at the beginning, every time I scroll down, because it's B, it's one of the first ones, I'm not going to show you today build a monster activity, build a solar system, because honestly, those you'll see are very easy to get. If you have any questions, like, don't hesitate to write or ask, but I wanted to focus on more original ones, the ones that you've probably haven't seen before. Where, there. I wanted to show you, please return. Please return, it's a lot of fun. So this is a type of activity, it's basically based on lost and found principle. You tell the students that you're sad because you lost something that is very important to you. You show them the example poster. Again, projects have a lot of posters. Really, the parents love them. So this is our example poster that you can show them. Please return. Okay, lost. Favorite brush, made of pink wood, decorated with gold. It's a gift from my great-grandma, okay? It's dear as a memory. I last saw it on February 12th in my purse when I was paying for the groceries in Food Mart supermarket. Reward, $5,000. So here, students, first of all, they get exposed to very natural language because this is, the way we wrote it is more spoken than written, right? There's not always a subject and things like that. So this is very natural language for them. And it gives them a model so that they do not need to think too much about it. They can pretty much copy the model we give them here. Lost, favorite, made of color plus material, decorated with color, material, object, whatever you like. It's a gift from, and then a person. I last saw it on and then a date plus a place or what they were doing. Do you see? It's a great model for them. The lower level or the younger they are, the more you want to give them a model so that they can easily just copy it. So we show them the example poster, and depending on their level, you're going to ask them questions just to elicit the vocabulary, to elicit the grammar, make sure that they're on the same page as you. What did I lose? What is it made of? What color is it? Why is it important to me? You tell the students how you lost the hairbrush. You can use basic or more complex form of the past. That's perfect. And then you point to the money on the sheet. Ask, what is this? And basically you're eliciting for them to understand what a reward is. If you give me my brush, I give you this money. So each student gets a lost item and a poster template. And students are going to make posters with the following information: what they lost, what it looks like, why is it important. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you their poster template. Please return. And they're going to glue their item here. And then here, lost, they're going to describe it. And reward, they're going to write some random amount of money. The lost item cards are here. Okay? A box, a door, an elephant. All right? Now check it out. Step 6, students present their posters to the class. Okay? You can limit this activity, this project, this production activity to just this part. They understand the idea of lost and found. They prepare their posters, maybe in groups, maybe in pairs, maybe alone. And then it's just simply a presentation of a poster to the rest of the class, because let's face it, they need to do that a lot throughout their childhood in school, and it's not a bad thing to prepare them for that in English as well. But what you can also do is extend the activity. So I like to do that the next day. Or, well, the next lesson, basically. The next lesson, all you need to do is print one more time the lost item cards, because remember, these cards, the students glued them to their posters. Well, now you print them up again, and you randomly give them out in the class. So now each student has one item that they have found. And what you're going to do is basically, very simply this. Student A found student B's lost item. A calls B, and they discuss where they meet to pass off the item. A can also talk about how he or she will spend the reward money. Actually, I just thought of it. You could also keep the lost items a secret, and the students have to ask questions and guess who found their lost object. Any questions, comments, ideas on this?
Yep, everything is clear.
Everything is clear?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I got the idea probably.
Yeah.
After the presentation, next lesson we can ask them what they remember about those objects, for example.
Oh, nice.
What color was it? How much money was the how much money will you get if you find this?
You're absolutely right. You can follow that up. You're absolutely right with a memory activity. You're absolutely right, and you could also make some mistakes on purpose. So, for example, for the next card,
yeah.
If you know that Antoine is looking for a red door, well, you, the teacher, you remember it, but you give them a green door. And so when the students are answering your questions about lost items, things like that, you ask them, is this the door that Antoine lost? The kids are all, yes, yes. Are you sure? Do you remember what door Antoine lost? Yes, 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 it was a big door. It was made of wood. It was red. Yes, it was red. Ah, this door is green. Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It could be a lot of fun. Any other ideas? No?
Yeah, everything is clear.
Everything
Right
is
now.
clear. It's our
Yeah.
it's our phrase of the day for all the webinars.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we only have a few minutes. I have one last one that I really wanted to share as well with you. World records. Have you all heard of the Guinness Book of Records?
Yep.
Yeah? It's a book, nobody really knows why they have the right to do that because they're not associated to any kind of like bureaucracy or anything from what I understand. It's just a company. And they have the authority to declare world records around the world. They, of course, have a special procedure and everything. But we're going to play a bit on that to force our students to speak. So again, you've got a little picture here to illustrate your introduction. This is the Resource Book of World Records. And that's exactly what the students are going to do. So the students work for the Resource Book of World Records. They have to prepare entries for the new edition. So the procedure, you show them the book picture, and you tell them that the new edition is coming out, and we need some new entries for this year. Let's have a look at one new entry this year. Oh my God, the greatest sandwich on earth. Lina Chen, a chef from China, and her team made the greatest sandwich on the planet. Why is it the greatest? Because it's the largest, 3 meters long, the heaviest, 587 kilos, and the most delicious, confirmed by 7,834 people. Lina says that she is planning to make the greatest soup on earth next year. Really looking forward to it. Can you imagine the greatest borscht on earth? It's like a swimming pool filled with borscht. It's always, these kind of ideas always come from Americas for some reason. We need to make the biggest and the greatest of everything. Ridiculous. So that's the greatest sandwich on earth. It's a nice poster. And students are going to make their own posters, their own entries, things like that, for different items. So when you show them this example picture of the greatest sandwich, you elicit from the students different records that should be on it. And they'll come with the ideas of the longest, maybe the heaviest, the tastiest. And then they're going to do the same thing with different cards. Not your example anymore. So here are different world records that the students are going to be able to make. We just provide them with a picture so that the students have the independence and the freedom to kind of go different directions. You'll see that depending on the kids and the vocabulary they know, they'll have really different ideas about what this world record could be. We want to give them the freedom to make a similar poster to this in whatever style they like, whatever vocabulary and target language they know at the time. In the end, the students present their pages, and you can combine them all into one book that you can tie together. So I would photocopy all the pages, and then you can make one book for each, and the students can take it home. Any ideas, questions on world records?
No, everything is clear. Oh, I got that.
Everything is clear.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Probably we can use it with superlatives.
Absolutely. We didn't specify here target language. Oh, you're absolutely right. I only put comparatives. Okay, I'll change that. Wait, let me make a note of that. World records. I need to add the tag superlatives. Perfect. Thank you for noticing. I was sure it was there. You're absolutely right. The students can have a lot of fun practicing comparatives, superlatives here. Any other ideas? Any questions? Well, these are really, I wanted to show you, so I combined today basically 4 kind of P3s for kids, 4 kind of projects, and 4 kind of production activities. You'll see that production activities and projects often coincide because basically a project is a production activity that lasts over more than 1 lesson. The idea is that they'll have a first step of the project, then a second step, then a third step. But a lot of these projects, you can also use them just as a production activity without the extension, just as a speaking part of the lesson, 30-minute speaking part. P3, count about 15 minutes. Production, count about 30 minutes. Project, count about 30 minutes. But 30 minutes 1 lesson, then 30 minutes a second lesson, and maybe even 30 minutes a third lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Clear?
Yep.
Do you have any other questions, comments on speaking activities for kids, tweens?
Well, right now, maybe everything is okay. But I think we should try this during the year, and maybe after that, we will have some comments and ideas.
Of course. We've had 3 webinars this week, and at first, so I did these webinars with different groups of teachers because, as I said, I want to keep these like small groups so that we have the opportunity to chat and ask and answer questions, things like that. I personally found them useful. What was your experience like? Do you find this useful for me to have short webinars like this, just going through activities and ideas for lessons?
Yeah, of course. Especially when the beginning of the school year is so
exactly
so close. Yeah. So it was very, very cool to get some ideas how to start the year.
Awesome. Well, as I want to have more next week, my idea is to expand on different topics. So I'm curious, like, I was thinking of this for next week. So first of all, one of the webinars should be speaking activities for adults. And that will include teens as well, because this week we only talked about speaking activities for kids. So one of the webinars, I would do speaking activities for adults. Are there any of you interested in doing one more webinar on like the business skills and the soft skills area? Or for now, it's enough?
Maybe for soft skills.
Maybe for soft skills, okay.
Again.
We also have on here pronunciation type activities. Is that something you'd be interested in doing as well?
Yes, of course. Yes, definitely.
Okay. You see, I hear a much stronger definite for this than for soft skills. Okay.
I think that we have already discussed soft skills, like commandi.
Yes, last week. My question was just, more about a more closer detail, because we did soft skills in general. I wanted to ask if anybody was interested in business skills, basically, for their students.
I'm interested in this area, actually.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I wrote it down. So I might not do business skills immediately next week because the more pressing thing right now is, of course, the start of the academic year. So it's more likely that you have kids and tweens starting courses soon. But business skills as well, yes? You have corporate clients that usually start, I find, mid-September, things like that. Okay. Is there anything else that you would be interested in talking about at a webinar? Writing skills, teaching tips, things like that? Because you see, we have a lot of materials on the
Yeah.
on the website.
Functional language I saw.
Uh-huh.
Also, teaching tips.
Okay. So to summarize, I would say this. Speaking activities for adults, definitely. That's very necessary. And pronunciation, there was a very strong yes as well, definitely next week. And I will think about what is, I will see what is best teaching tips, soft skills, business skills, or functional language for next week as well.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, if you don't have any more questions, comments, then we'll leave it at that for today.
Thank you.
Okay, you're absolutely welcome. If you have any questions, things like that, don't hesitate to write, to answer my emails.
Okay, thank you very much for these webinars. They were really useful for the beginning of the academic year. Thank you very much for your ideas, for your creativity.
Oh, thanks.
That was really interesting. Thank you.
Perfect. Glad to help. I'll send you the recordings as well of the 3 webinars this week, okay? Just in case, at least that way you can also, if you remember something, you can go back to the recording.
Okay, thanks.
All right? Perfect. All right. I wish you all a very nice weekend. I know tomorrow is still Friday, but no webinar tomorrow, so have a nice weekend.
The same to you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.